Hey everybody, I'm Jill Lewis and I'm really excited to share with you my recipe for chicken and wild rice soup. It's super simple. I use a lot of shortcuts, but it's really flavorful. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was take some oil. I like to use the Cauliflower, I think that's how you pronounce it, but extra virgin olive oil. And I've just swirled that into the pan. So I don't really measure that. I just enough to coat the bottom, so it kind of looks like that. And my first shortcut is this cauliflower hash. I get this at Kroger, and this is just tiny pieces already cut up of cauliflower. It has broccoli, carrots, and green onions. So this is perfect. Once this is heated up on medium to medium-high heat, I'm just gonna pour a bunch of this in there. Not quite the whole package, but I would say about 3/4 of the package. I'm gonna fill that up. And I'm gonna let that saute for about 5 minutes. So you can hear that sizzling away there. So I'm just gonna give it a little stir, and I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to that. Okay, I've been letting the veggies just saute in the pan. Here's what they look like. I added the salt and pepper. You just salt and pepper to taste. I like to go light on the salt and then kind of check it as I go. And then, so once that has sauteed for about 5 minutes, I'm gonna add in some chicken broth. I like to use a low sodium chicken broth. This one's from Aldi. Another really good brand would be the Pacific brand. You can find that at Kroger and other retailers. But this is the one I have right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in 2 boxes of chicken broth. So that is 64 ounces total. All right, I'm gonna give that a stir and just let that simmer probably about, maybe 20 minutes or so, and then you can add in your chicken. This is just rotisserie chicken that I bought at Kroger. You can get, buy prepared rotisserie chickens pretty much anywhere. But I got this one at Kroger. I just took the meat off of the bone. I removed the skin as well. And I'm gonna add that into the broth, and then I'm just gonna let that simmer away. So I used every bit of the chicken. Good. And then I have this seasoning right here. This is the herb de Provence, and I think that's how you say that. And again, measuring is not always my strong suit, but I'm going to sprinkle some of this in, pretty good amount. I always think you kind of do this by taste, especially on a soup, but I really like this seasoning in a chicken and rice soup or a chicken and noodle soup. You could also make chicken noodle soup with this as well. I'm gonna add just a little pinch more salt, pretty big pinch of pepper again. So that's the second time I've added salt and pepper. So while this is simmering, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the rice separately. So I'm just using this rice blend. You can find a rice blend pretty much at any retailer. I got this one at Kroger. I'm gonna add a cup into another pot. I don't want to do this into the soup because it's going to absorb all the broth. So I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of water to this. So I'm just following the package directions on the rice mixture. And once that starts to boil, then I'm going to put the lid on the top and reduce it and let it do its thing. So here's the herbes de Provence. Super easy to just use the dried herbs, but if you have fresh herbs on hand, by all means do so. Basically, that would just mean rosemary, thyme, sage, and marjoram. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for at least 30 minutes. It's looking pretty good, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in my cooked rice. And I'm gonna start with 1 cup, a little more than a cup. I'm gonna stir that in there and then just kind of see how it does. You don't want to put in too much rice where you lose all of your broth, but probably go ahead and add another 1/2 cup. And that should do it. And then I'll let that simmer for maybe another 15 minutes, add a little more salt and pepper, and that is it. Okay, so here it is, looking so good. And again, if you feel like it needs more salt or pepper, you can always add that in the end. I just scoop it out like this, and it is ready to go.